Here they are, folks. The Blues Brothers Band. Steve the Colonel Cropper, Donald Duck Dunn, Murphy Dunn, Willie Hall, Tom Bones Malone, Lou Marini, Matt Guitar Murphy, and Alan, Mr. Fabulous Rubin. Backing up the Blues Brothers, Jake and Elwood Blues, played by John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. 40 years later, we are still talking about the movie and the band and the car, the Bluesmobile, a 1974 Dodge Monaco, former Mount Prospect police car, and it's one of the most easily recognizable vehicles around. Even old police cars that vaguely resemble the Bluesmobile bring up references and memories of the movie, but there's no design that exact car, that Monaco, done right, is such a beautiful sight. And my next guest, we've had on the show now 5 times, that's right. He has joined the 5 Timers Club. That is Brian Scanlon. Brian's car was recently named the official Bluesmobile for all Blues Brothers approved ventures in the Chicagoland area. That is Brian Scanlon. Now, when you say the approved Bluesmobile, are there other Bluesmobiles that are approved, or are you the only one?
In Chicago, I am the only one, and I will be the only one in the Chicago metropolitan area. I'm not quite sure exactly how broad that of a range that covers. People have different definitions, but so at least within Chicago and the direct vicinity of the city, I will be the only one.
Tell me a little bit about what it entailed before you're officially licensed. I mean, just a few other hoops or certain events you maybe couldn't do?
So before I was licensed, the one big no-no, even before I was licensed, from their viewpoint, was being associated with any unlicensed acts. So that was definitely something that I avoided. There was a couple of instances that got me in a little bit of trouble, but after explaining the situation, I think made it better. You know, I went to a couple of corporate events, and much like what I do on a day-to-day basis, there's VPs and directors at these companies that want to be the Blues Brothers for a day.
Oh, sure.
And they would pose in the car in the suits. They would get up and sing a song because they had the resources to do so. And with video of that, there was no differentiating them from an unlicensed act. Yeah, I could see how that was viewed. I clarified those situations and fortunately was able to move on beyond that point.
I know you mentioned a lot of these big 40th celebrations unfortunately canceled or postponed, hopefully. Are there any other events that you have lined up now that you're officially licensed?
At this time, no.
Okay.
We're still waiting. Obviously Illinois, we're in stage or phase 3, so we're not quite there yet. There's no concerts, no movies, theaters, no large gatherings at this point. Unfortunately, I just have to bide my time and hope that something opens up by the fall where we can hopefully get something together.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Just from a personal point of view, I enjoy your car, and I always like the events you're at, whether it's a car show or a concert, and I can't wait for that to happen again.
I'm really looking forward to it. Right now, I'm in the process of putting a checklist together. There's some long overdue maintenance on the Bluesmobile that I need to do. So while I have the downtime, I'm definitely going to take advantage of that and start getting all those little things done that I haven't been able to do over the past 2 years of this whirlwind.
Don't forget to get the dead bugs off the windshield.
Yep.
A line like that I just said, it's like little things like that. I mean, this is one of the few movies where I can just say a random line, like 3 orange whips, like to my dad or someone, and they're going to laugh, they're going to get the joke, you're going to get the reference. It's these lines, It's these moments, What else? Why are we still talking about this movie?
Well, I think after 40 years, it's hard to explain. I mean, one, it's a quality movie. It's a good movie. It's got music. It's got comedy. It's got slapstick moments. It's a lot of physical comedy, if you will, that kind of transcends generations. I don't feel after watching it for the millionth time, that it feels dated. If it was made yesterday, it would still be the same great movie. Well, strike that. They tried that. Very subtle in its humor. I mean, there's really no laugh out loud jokes per se. It's just
right.
It's a great dialogue. It's witty. It's under the radar. Believe it or not, they're the straight guys in this whole movie for the most part. They're totally, they don't even know what's going on around them most of the time. They just act like it's normal.
I think that's a good point. Unfortunately, we lost one of the great comedians in Fred Willard not too long ago. But he was really good at that. When he's in a comedy, when he's doing a funny role, it's that character. It's how they feel. It's what they're doing. Funny things might be happening around them, but you just got to play it cool. You don't know you're in a comedy, and I think the Blues Brothers emulates that as well.
Right, very much so. And you're absolutely right. Fred Willard was great at that. I think Aykroyd was great at deadpan. Belushi, he was very restrained in this movie.
Yeah.
He wasn't the wild Bluto from Animal House. He wasn't Wild Bill from 1941. He's Jake Blues. He's a serious criminal.
Yeah.
And he played it that way. He played it straight for the most part. I think it was until the very end of the movie did either actor actually acknowledge the insanity that they're in the middle of. And I always take the scene where they're coming up the ramp from Lower Wacker Drive, and they're bracing themselves to hit the squad car, and they fly over the squad car, land on the other side of the bridge to continue on, and they both look at each other in total disbelief.
Yeah, I love that scene. That's a good one.
I think that's one of the few times that they actually acknowledged, this is crazy. Well, Brian, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk with me. Do appreciate it. Brian, of course, is the owner and operator of the Chicago Bluesmobile, the ChicagoBluesmobile.com. Brian, again, I want to thank you so much. Thank you, Sam.
No problem at all.